So I am going to try and do this tour online right now. Um, so I'm going to go to Play Store and um, uh, let's see. I'm trying to manage two things at once, so um, I'm not sure how otherwise to make this work. Um, uh, let's see. Escape. There we go. So now I can move this over here. Oh, maybe not. I can't change screens, but I can make this a smaller box. So I'm going to go here to the app. So I'm going to Google Arts and Culture. I'm looking for the Google Arts and Culture app. I'm going to install the Google Arts and Culture app. While that's downloading, what we're looking at is there is a number of gallery tours that are being offered for virtual gallery tours that are being offered for free. This one is one of them I chose in place I've always wanted to go in Florence. And there's some amazing art in Florence. And so the Uffizi Gallery in Florence says I can choose. So go there and it says install the Google Arts and Culture app to explore virtual reality tours from the Uffizi Gallery. So now I've got the app and I'm just doing this the first time so you can see me downloading it and everything. So take a virtual tour of, there's a number of galleries, explore with Street View, Easter Island. So I'm going to search in here for that particular gallery I wanted to go see. Uffizi, two Fs. So Uffizi Gallery. Select on that, and I'm, instead of going to collection, which would show me, I'm going to do visit. So I'm going to do a virtual gallery tour. There we go. I click on the little person. So this is the gallery, and I can virtually walk around and take a look. So I'm going to go right here. Ooh, I want to look closer at that one. So I go there, and I have to actually turn my phone. And I'm going to look more closely at this one. There's a statue with, can't tell if that's a snake or what. I wonder how well this goes. I can't read the labels next to it. But some famous busts of Roman emperors. So I can rotate the view. It looks like a Vermeer painting up there. Some sculptures all the way down this. Seems like they kind of alternate a sculpture every few with a statue. These are marble. The original marbles were often painted. They used marble because they could paint it in such a way that the marble has a little bit of translucence, and so they could get the same translucence that you get with actual skin. Um, and that's part of why the eyes will often look really creepy. I don't know how much closer we can get to these statues, but if you look at the eyes, they are not the way I've taught you to sculpt them. They're just blank, but that's because they were painted. Oh, you could almost read that, but not quite. Um, so we can go around and walk along here, look at the statues on both sides. I haven't looked at this side. So we turn here, got a little cherub angel holding a torch, I believe. And then we look up and um, most of these, you'll see similar um, symbols, which is in art is called iconography. So you see um, similar iconography. There are certain um, things. Many of these are abstract concepts like justice and mercy and liberty, um, and, um, and so there'll be a, hey, this one we can read a little bit, except of course it's in Italian. Oh, and English. The restoration was made possible with a major grant by Ted and Angela. Yeah. Anyway, that's interesting. Oh, let's dismiss that. um, it's actually one of my wife's notifications anyway. So, some interesting stuff. Go in here, and we've got a painting, and like part of the downside of this um, whole dismissal of class and doing it online is you have to sit there the whole time. This, like you can walk around your living room. I think it might even allow me to, yeah. As I walk around, it moves a little bit closer, but definitely you can at least stand and you turn yourself around. It's one of those augmented reality things. Um, I assume we can, yeah, rotate it. And ooh, let's go back a little bit. Yeah, no, it works better in this format. Oh yeah, I was looking at the ground. If I rotate it, oh yeah, that works. But now this little bar down at the bottom is taking up all of the space. But I can click, and that way I don't have to navigate in the somewhat awkward way um, that I was. That particular painting is one that we spent a long time on in my art history class, um, talking about and comparing it with a similar one that was more modern. Um, and we can go around through various collections. Medusa, this is painted on a shield. Oh, and look, Caravaggio Merisi. So Caravaggio is an important, famous painter. He was known for chiaroscuro, which is just kind of high contrast shading. And so that was, oh, look, Michelangelo, Donitondo, and we can go closer. So anyway, we can do all of this. Um, and, it's not, like you can just kind of scroll through and find things that you're interested in. The statues and um, you can do a little bit of this and then pull up some of the um, stuff on Wikipedia, honestly, is one of the best sources to um, study art. It's updated, and there's enough, um, people who, when they go to edit it, there's enough art historians who will set the record straight if anybody puts some misinformation on there. Um, and it goes fairly quickly. That's interesting. Oh man, you look up at the ceiling. I didn't even think to look up at the ceiling, but we've got, painted vaulted ceilings, and it looks like each one of these, each arched area of the ceiling is different paintings. So, you go down a little ways and you look up, and then you go down a few more and you look up and you'll get a different one. Um, and Anyway, you can start looking at, various things, and you'll see a lot of um, different iconography, and and then you can do a little bit of Wikipedia on, if you find one that's really interesting to you. You go down and, oh, hey, look at this one down at the end of the hall. Let's move, move. We're getting closer to it one sculpture at a time. Is from back here that looks like one I'm fairly familiar with, but as I get closer, it's, oh yeah, it's so there's, wrestling, and it's kind of a disturbing one. Um, so there's these guys fighting. He's twisting his head around, and he's battling with it's a centaur. I believe it's a Hercules story because that looks like a lion skin, possibly. And there's the story of Hercules, um, and I don't remember the name of the lion, um, something like Nemoidian, but I don't think that's quite right. Um, Lion, and he's got the skin, and he would wear the skin during this time period. Obviously, there's a lot of nudity, um, and it was during the humanism, and um, they they wanted to show um, the human body. It's a classical Greek. Um, Time period. Um, we might want to. Looks like there's some distortion in there. Yeah, there's the legs better. In the classical Greek period, the um, nudity was generally a sign of divinity. That's how the gods were, and they showed the perfection of their bodies. Um, and um, Different things like that. And later on, it had, kind of other meanings and purposes. But one thing that all artists have agreed on is that the body is an incredible subject, human form. Um, to work on this one, it looks like it's got some of the colored painting that happens in there. I mean, just, anyway, really interesting stuff to look at, explore. And this is just the one gallery. There's going to be others that have more modern art, um, and all sorts of things that way. So, um, do some gallery exploration. It's free now. A lot of times these are um, paid. Um, Services. You look down, you can go to online exhibit, and you can look for specific ones. One virtual reality tour. Um, this one, this Venus painting, usually it's titled something like Venus Rising from the um, Waves or something. It's Okay. So let's do this. And okay, this has got that, virtual reality thing. So you can put it up to your face if you've got one of those things. I'm pretty sure you can just kind of use the trigger to advance through a tour. Wow, it's doing some weird things. Um, but that's an option. So we're going to leave that virtual reality tour. I don't have virtual reality goggles for my thing. My son does actually. So I've got some at home. Um, but getting the distancing right and the lensing right on your eyes, I couldn't get that to work just now. But um, anyway, it's an option. So you can do it. I close this out and I go back into my Zoom, and I'm going to um, and so um, the there are lots of ways to explore art visually, um, and when we do the critiques, the knowing and understanding the historical context of them, you can either use Wikipedia and find some of that, or just do the critiques based on what you find interesting, what you see, your observation and analysis, the formal critique stuff that we've done in the past. So that's always an option.